Scouting America offers a wide range of programs for boys and girls ages 5 to 20, from campouts and derby car races to trail hikes and jamborees. Each adventure is designed to help young people discover more about themselves. Welcome to Celebrate Michigan, the show produced on the campus of Madonna University. I'm Karen Sanborn. Joining us today is Denver Laabs, Chief Development Officer for Scouting America. A lifelong scout himself, Denver has taken his love of scouting and made it his life's work. Denver, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us. We're happy to be here, excited to tell some scouting stories and learn a little bit about what it is you guys do here and share some of our good works in the process.
Awesome, awesome. So let's get started. Tell me how you got into scouting and what has Scouting America meant for you personally?
You know, I'm lucky to have had the opportunity to join scouting as a young person. Back then we started scouts at 6 years old. These days we're starting them as young as 5 years old in kindergarten. And I had a very close friend in first grade invite me to what we call a joint scouting night. That's a program where we go into elementary schools typically and get a whole bunch of young people during a classroom or what we call a scout talk during a lunch hour at a recess, excited about things like BB guns and bows and arrows and fishing and hiking and backpacking and swimming and all the amazing things that any 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old is going to be excited about. And you bring them, hopefully with their parents, back to school in the evening. And what happens is my friend says, Denver, why don't you come check this out? I got a flyer. It looks great. I got to try some of these activities. He said, as a 6-year-old, that looks pretty fun to me too. I got to be a part of this. I had that chance to attend the event. I don't know if he stuck with it, but I was so excited that I said, let's try this. And my mom, my dad, and I agreed that we'd try scouting for a year, and 33 years later, It's been my entire life. Haven't had a day of my life since then that I haven't been a part of this program, either serving the community as a volunteer, serving the council as an employee these days, or as a parent and a dad to a young scout that I have at home today.
Wow. So it's a family affair.
It is a family affair.
Yeah, that's so fun. I was a den mother when my son was 6 or 7, so I remember what that was like. Share with us what the mission of scouting is.
Yeah, in a nutshell, scouting's mission is to prepare young people for life. The expansion of that is to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetimes by instilling in them the values of the Scout Oath and Law. When we talk about what those values are, they're really time-tested ideals that since scouting's inception globally in 1907 and in America in 1910, we're celebrating 115 years this year in 2025, have not changed. And that's because we feel that those foundational values that the American family or the global family want of their children, of their young people, is to go out and do good in this world. And so we have this commonality in what we call the Scout Oath or Law across what we call the World Organization of the Scouting Movement. Scouting America, our national scouting organization here in this country, has leaned on those ideals of the Oath and Law since its inception. So things like trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. I see you nodding along because we haven't changed even one of those words since Baden-Powell's founding of it in 1910. But what I hear commonly when I go out and speak to people is as soon as you throw a scout sign in the air or say just the beginning of a couple of those words, they are immediately ready to say them along with you. They remember them, and I don't think they just remember the words. I know that they remember and hopefully live what they stand for, even as adults out and doing whatever it is they do in the world these days.
Yeah, because it's universal. Those are universal values and the way we should be, the way we should treat one another. So perfect. We hear a lot about jamboree, you know, like year after year. I've never attended, so I don't know. What is it? What's it all about?
When a young person starts in scouting, we kind of have what we call the camping continuum. We want to get a young person outdoors. We tell people that 3/4 of scouting is outing, meaning that shared adventure experience that takes place in whatever outdoor camping setting a Cub Scout pack or a scout troop finds themselves in. We know that the bond that takes place between young people when they have to overcome an objective or overcome an obstacle in the wild, that's what kind of solidifies in the magical moment a binding camaraderie that we believe is manifested and then sticks with them for the rest of their lives. You can get that in a lot of things, but where you really seem to get it the very best is when you find yourself somewhere in the wild in a situation that's maybe not the most ideal, and you have to work together to fix that situation and use that kind of organic or original kind of leadership that the kids are giving themselves and finding the conclusion to that situation. And in doing so, they become friends for life. And so as they do that, as 6 and 7 and 8-year-olds, they'll eventually have the chance to hopefully go to one of the 6 summer camp experiences throughout the state of Michigan that are owned and operated by the Michigan Crossroads Council, potentially a major council camporee, and then hopefully up to a jamboree experience, which is something that's really the pinnacle of what a scout can do with so many of their peers. We have as many as 50,000 young people that'll gather together both nationally and internationally at a shared site. We have a national site that we host these at in West Virginia called the Summit Bechtel Reserve. These days they happen every 3 to 4 years, and it gives those young people over 10 or 11 nights the chance to have those bonding shared adventure experiences with people from all over the country and all over the world. It gives them new perspectives, it gives them new friendships. Most of all, I think it gives them an appreciation for other cultures and how they themselves fit into kind of the national and the global fabric of scouting and of the world in itself.
How fascinating. So where is Jamboree?
So locally, we do camporees all over the state of Michigan. You could pick almost any weekend in the fall or the spring, and I could find you a camping location that's hosting hundreds or potentially thousands of scouts right here in the state of Michigan. Nationally, we host them these days at the Summit Bechtel Reserve in West Virginia. What we have almost always, meaning almost every weekend, you could go to any camp in the state of Michigan, at D-Bar Scout Ranch in Metamora, at Camp Tatonka near Jackson, Michigan, at Gerber on the west side of the state, Elder hosts Cole Canoe Base, and right in the middle of the state we have Camp Rotary. We're very excited about Hiawatha land that we just picked up as part of the Upper Peninsula, at the very tip of the Upper Peninsula, and between each of these 6 camping properties on nearly any given weekend, you can find scouts enjoying one of those shared adventure experiences with their pals or with their buddies or with their patrol mates. We also feature a site that we call Adventure Point, which is the newest part of Scouting's leadership-facing program that gives young people that maybe are in Scouts or maybe haven't yet been in Scouting the chance to try some of those soft skill competencies that Scouting teaches so well.
That's awesome. But you know what? Just a minute. We're just getting started. As you can tell, it's very exciting. When we return, we'll see how Scouting has changed and meet a young Scout and get their insights. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Peter, and there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends.
Come on in! Help yourself to anything.
That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit savethefood.com.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Mom, can I have $1? Yeah, it's right. I think my purse is upstairs on the bed. It's not here. Check the dining room. No. What about your sister's room? Not there either. The upstairs closet? The downstairs closet?
There are no more closets.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Welcome back to Celebrate Michigan. I'm Karen Sanborn. We have been speaking with Denver Laabs Chief Development Officer for Scouting America, and we're now joined by Victoria Laabs, a member of Scouting America. Victoria, welcome to Celebrate Michigan.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So tell us what it's like being a scout.
It's really fun to be a scout.
What's so fun? What are the fun things you do?
You can do like a lot of running and playing outside.
And playing outside. Your dad said that's why, outing is part of scouting. So you get to be outside. Do you do crafts?
Yes.
You do?
Uh-huh.
Like, what do you make?
Like one time we made like these ornaments for people to hang on their Christmas trees.
Oh, for other people. So you didn't make them for yourselves.
No.
You were doing it for somebody else.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome. How old are you?
7.
7. Wow. And you got started in scouting before 7?
Yes.
Wow, and you've got a great uniform. Thank you for wearing your uniform.
Yep.
That's awesome. Denver, scouting's been around for 115 years. Why does scouting now include young ladies like Victoria?
Well, in 2017, when Scouting America, at that point, the Boy Scouts of America, made the announcement that we are going to try the inclusion of young ladies in the scouting program, first at the Cub Scout level and then soon after at what we call the Scouts BSA or the troop level. It was based on a series of surveys that took place both internally with current scouting constituents and family members, as well as the general public externally, asking, does this make sense for you and your family? And the feedback that we received is, so often parents, den leaders, den mothers like yourself, as we used to refer them, as had this necessity of often bringing along a sibling or trying to include the whole family. We talked that scouting is a family program. It was designed as a family program. It continues to be a family program. And for so long, siblings had been part of the scouting program, maybe in an unofficial capacity in tow. And for sake of ease, but much more important than that, giving every young person the opportunity to gain the values and the skill sets, aims like character development and citizenship training, leadership, personal and mental fitness. Having them get the chance to have those ideals just made sense.
Sure.
And the survey results overwhelmingly said, not only do we want this, we've been wanting this for a long time.
Yeah.
And so at the beginning of 2018, we gave this a shot. A couple years later, we celebrated our first female Eagle Scout class, and it's been nothing but growth then on. Victoria here, we like to describe as a future Eagle Scout. She's one of 27,000 young people that's part of the Scouting America program here in the Michigan Crossroads Council, encompassing the entire state of Michigan, upper and lower peninsulas.
So do you have friends that are in scouting with you?
Yes.
Do you? What do they like to do? Do you go camping? Have you been camping?
Yes.
When you go camping, do you go kayaking or fishing?
Yes.
You do?
Uh-huh.
Do you bait your own hook?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That's pretty brave. Is brave one of the what do you call them? The tenet, one of the words that you strive to become as a scout?
Yes.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
So when you made the ornaments, did somebody help you? Did they give you ideas, or how did you do that? What did you do?
We like colored them and gave them away to people.
Did you get to be there to give it to the person?
I think so.
Did you? Okay. Do you meet? Where do you meet as a scout?
We meet at a school.
You meet at a school, so after school, right? Do you have brothers and sisters that are in scouting with you?
No.
No? Just you?
Yep.
Good for you. So do you want to be an Eagle Scout?
Yes.
Yeah? All right, before we have to take a break, I want to make sure that I ask you, do you know the Scouts pledge?
Yeah.
Can you say it for me?
Yes.
Okay, how do you do it?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's awesome.
Can you do the Scout oath?
What's the Scout oath?
A scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
That's awesome. Good for you. And you're all of those things already at 7. That's pretty impressive. You can be anything you want to be. What do you want to be after scouting? Do you know?
An Eagle Scout?
You want to be an Eagle Scout. Don't you have to do a project?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you? Yeah. Do you get badges?
Yes.
Okay, do you have any badges?
Yes.
Oh, I like the tiger one. I like the bobcat. Oh, this is nice. Popcorn. You sell popcorn. I love Scout popcorn. I love popcorn, so it really doesn't matter. This is so fun. I'm so glad you were here today. Thank you for joining us, Victoria. We'll take a little break, and when we return, we'll talk more about Scouting America, so stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Peter. And there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends.
Come on in. Help yourself to anything.
That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit savethefood.com.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Mom, can I have $1? Yeah, it's right. I think my purse is upstairs on the bed. It's not here. Check the dining room. No. What about your sister's room? It's not there either. The upstairs closet? The downstairs closet?
There are no more closets.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Welcome back to Celebrate Michigan. I'm Karen Sanborn. With me is Denver Laabs, Chief Development Officer for Scouting America. Denver, if I know a child who is interested in scouting, how do I help them get involved?
You know, the mission of Scouting we talked about is prepare young people for life. We have this belief that every young person deserves that. Every young person deserves these life-changing experiences and to get the memories with each other, whether it's camping or through service or through the leadership challenges that take place from being a Lion Cub all the way to being an Eagle Scout and beyond. It's relatively simple these days. Check out discoverscouting.org. That's a website that will point anybody in the state of Michigan to how to find a scouting unit, pack or a troop or a crew or a ship locally. You can as simply go on there, get all of the information about what scouting is globally, but it'll take you right down to your local neighborhood. There's tools where you can type in a zip code. It's going to show you your closest scouting units, if there's one at your school or at a school nearby, or a partnership with any of our hundreds of charting organizations that actually host our units across the state of Michigan. It's a website that's new and run by the Michigan Crossroads Council, Scouting America, but check out discoverscouting.org to start your scouting trail.
That's easy. That's easy. Thanks. So, you know, people might want to get involved, and you're going camping, and there are different activities. What kind of expenses could parents expect if they're involved in scouting?
Well, as we talked about before, scouting is a family program, and the backbone of the way that scouting works is through this incredible core of tens of thousands of volunteers locally across the state of Michigan, many of whom are parents and many of whom are alumni of the program, and many of whom are simply community leaders that care about young people. Being a part of scouting is so great because it's a universal truth in this country and in this world that people care about their kids and communities care about their kids. And we know that parents and families care about their kids, and we strive, as we have for 115 years, to make scouting accessible and to make scouting affordable. What's great about scouting is, like popcorn that Victoria's had the chance to sell for the 3 years that she's been part of the program, we have available fundraisers to defray the cost through selling of goods and building sales skills in the community, in your hometown, that can, if done correctly, make your scouting bill $0 a year. The startup cost to initiate oneself as part of the family in scouting is negligible compared to so many other youth activities that run only seasonally, whereas scouting is a year-round program. It never sleeps, but it gives a young person that opportunity to, if they need to take a little bit of a pause to get involved with the sport or be a well-rounded young person and be part of another youth activity, they can do that without having to take a break on the fun and the academic lessons that's part of the leadership curriculum that scouting has to offer.
Yeah, that's great. During the break, we were talking about Victoria should get a badge for being here today and participating. Is there a badge?
You know, in Scouting America at the troop level, a badge that so many young people, boys and girls, strive for is the Cinematography Merit Badge. And the Cinematography Merit Badge has not been part of the Scouting Merit Badge series forever. There's over 130 Scouting Merit Badges that one can earn, with a subset of them that are required to be earned if one is to become an Eagle Scout before they age out of the Scouting program at 18 years old from a troop. One of those is the Cinematography Merit Badge, which was started by Steven Spielberg, who's an Eagle Scout himself, and several decades ago said there should be a badge. And it's really that easy to start a merit badge. And what we've seen in the merit badge program is nearly 10% of young people that try a badge in the scouting program end up choosing that particular program as their vocation or career, because they were introduced to it at a young age, 10 or 11 or 12 or 13, 14 years old in the scouting program, and because of a merit badge counselor who's a volunteer that is trained or has a background or experience set in that particular merit badge program, hopefully inspired that young person to go out and learn more about that badge beyond the initial introduction of the merit badge requirements.
Right. Oh, that's so neat. I love it. Now, we talked a little bit about Eagle Scouts. That's a pretty involved process. I don't know how long it takes, but roughly how many achieve the Eagle Scout level?
Sure. These days, about 5% of young people that join the scouting program at some point as a young person matriculate to the rank of Eagle. But I got to be honest with you, the goal of Scouting America is not, and frankly hasn't been, to create Eagle Scouts. If we did, our success rate wouldn't be so great if we just measured the 5%. What it is to create good in young people, to create future leaders, to create great global citizens that serve others through those ideals of the oath and law. What we know is our Eagle Scouts are the ones that have proven themselves above all others that'll have the opportunity to go out and do that. But so many young people, even if they spend just a couple of years in our program, in fact, our studies say that if a young person spends 5 years in Scouting America, Eagle Scout or not, they're going to be so much more likely to go out and do that good in the world. We do studies almost annually that address, does the scouting program continue to drive the scouting values, continue to drive that leadership and that service and that community involvement, that character development? And the answer unequivocally is yes, every single time. And we are constantly refining the scouting program, even today, to ensure that it is relevant for today's families and today's future workforce.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Denver and Victoria, thank you for sharing your love of scouting today. And thank you for tuning in to Celebrate Michigan, where we celebrate all the good things in the Mitten State.